Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, what caused the reversal today? Bitcoin started out strong. Entire market started out strong. Then, sudden reversal. So, what brought down Bitcoin? I'm going to talk about it. And also, what is going on with Solana? It went down once again, twice in the same month. So, what is going on? Well, let's discuss that as well. All right, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and check out the brand new CryptosRUs Clips channel. Welcome, 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 guys. Hopefully you guys are doing well tonight, hanging in there. Unfortunately, we had a sudden reversal. And I do think I have an explanation for it, but I think it goes a little deeper, and I'm going to explain a little more tonight. But you can see Bitcoin, unfortunately, has fallen back below 30,000. But if you're looking at a 24-hour mark, we are actually still like a 0.1% higher than this point yesterday. Okay, so not all is lost. I know it looked very bearish when we were coming down, but we're at the same point as same time yesterday when I was streaming. But we did lose the gains. Why, though? Why? The entire market looked very, very good this morning, right? Everything was in green, deep green, and then turned in deep red. Deep red. Why? Well, I think it's just one man, all right? Jamie Dimon. He did some kind of speech where it was very, very, very bearish. He was saying economic hurricane is about to hit us. Brace yourself. JP Morgan is bracing itself. They have very little on a balance sheet because they believe it's going to get really, 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 really bad. So, of course, when Jamie Dimon, the CEO of the largest bank on earth, JP Morgan, says this, well, it spooked a lot of people. I do believe this was the catalyst of the big sell-off today from, Dow positive 300 to negative 300 by closing, right? So it feared a lot of people. And the reason why he said this was because there's two things he's fearful of. Number one is the war and how there could be uncertainties coming out of that, and plus the high oil prices, just energy prices overall. And number two is the quantitative tightening that started today. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Quantitative tightening, which Fed Chair Powell already said, a month ago that was going to happen today, right? It's not unexpected. I mean, this news was already pre-announced. So why is it that all of a sudden today Jamie Dimon makes such a big deal about it? But his point is, whenever you have the Fed that's going to try to shut off $7.6 trillion worth of bonds, it's no good. It's no good. So this is what, these are two things that he said that he was very, very, very fearful of. But I like to remind you guys that Jamie Dimon tends, like a lot of Wall Streeters, tends to say one thing and then does another behind the scene. Okay, we have seen this before. Okay, this is not new. Just like all these other guys that used to come out and say, well, yeah, it's really, really, really bad. Like, remember Bill Ackman, went on like CNBC and said, oh yeah, it's so bad and bad and bad. And he actually had a huge short position, and he made billions by that performance on air. And so many others like Jamie Dimon and other banks have discredited and said horrible things about Bitcoin, yet they started loading up and start offering services. JP Morgan today is one of the biggest banks that offer crypto services. Not only that, but allows, their wealthy clients, their wealth advisors actually tell their wealthy clients to go load up on Bitcoin and crypto, right? So is this just a way for Jamie Dimon to spook the market so that they can pick up some cheap equities and Bitcoin or whatever? I wouldn't put it past them, right? But I think this is what brought things down today. But of course, it goes a little bit deeper than that. I mean, people overall are already afraid of what's happening with the economy, right? The Fed came out and said, they expect slight or modest economic growth as inflation surges. Slight or modest growth is still good. That means there's still growth, although many are anticipating that we will go into recession, which technically is 2 non-growth quarters, which we already had one, or we're going to get a second one. If we avoid it, that means we avoid recession. But, many people think that's not going to be the case. We're not going to have growth. We're just going to have a slowness, right? And we're seeing a lot of repercussions from what's going on already. Mortgage rates rise sharply, now well above 5%. And gas price, national average is still $4.67, climbing, anticipated to climb to $5 soon. This morning when I passed by the gas station in my Tesla, I saw 5.51, I think, and that's for regular gas. It's not premium gas, all right? So it's getting very, very expensive. It's nice to have an EV car, even though it doesn't really justify, the whole gas thing. Not. Well, I guess it depends on which car you have. But there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of fear that's out there still. So Jamie just threw gasoline on top of the fire, right? And when you do that, you get a sudden burst of flame, but then it dies down again, right? So I do think that today was escalated by what he said, but people will come back to reality and realize, well, maybe it's not going to be as bad as he said it's going to be, right? So that is what's happened, right? And here's another thing too, and there's another big event that's coming. And whenever you have big events, Bitcoin events, there tends to be a little bit of sell-off beforehand. And I'll get to that at the end. But that could also have something to do with what we're seeing today. Or it could just be perfectly natural that it just went down, right? But with that said, even with Bitcoin, still where it's at, 29,000, 30,000, a good reminder is that Bitcoin is still, in terms of market cap, bigger than all these banks and financial institutions, the ones that have funded Bitcoin throughout its 12-year history, right? You have Visa, UBS, SoftBank, Citibank, JP Morgan, MasterCard, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, American Express, all these companies at one point in time have been caught saying Bitcoin is not sustainable, it's dead, it'll never be used as a payment system, no one will ever buy it as an asset, and now they are all smaller than Bitcoin. But here's the good news. Even though Bitcoin is already larger than all these banks and financial institutions, it's still so early. It's still so early. So take a look at this. No. Okay, I lost the chart I was trying to show you. There was adoption growth chart. Let me see if I can pull up real quick. This is actually a really nice one. I don't want you guys to miss out on. It is this one. There we go. This is comparing Bitcoin, where it is now, versus the internet and mobile. And we're like somewhere in between. All right? So even though Bitcoin is already bigger than all these banks and financial institutions, on the grand scheme of things, it's still very early. We're still in like the early adopter stage, not even early majority stage. And what's coming is going to blow everyone away. We're so early. It's like being in tech and tech companies in the 90s. No way we could have predicted what was coming in the 2000s and 2010s and 2020s now. Right? It's so different than the early AOL days, okay? Or even before that, right? So that's why we need to be in the game and we need to ignore what's going on and continue to buy the dip like so many in Canada. Purpose Bitcoin ETF, the biggest Bitcoin spot ETF in Canada, is adding more and more and more Bitcoin. In fact, it's at an all-time high. Now they have close to 44,000 Bitcoins in their fund under management and continues to grow. And this shows you that people that really believe, continue to buy and buy and buy and buy, right? They're just go hodl and DCA. It's really that simple. If price goes down, okay, DCA some more. If it doesn't, it's okay, I'll DCA. Holders will not give up. And when you have this kind of strength, that means it's never going to go away, right? So Purpose Bitcoin ETF at all-time high. I already showed you that. Lightning capacity at all-time high. Again, showing the growth. Just within 2 years alone, the capacity of the Lightning Network has more than doubled. And think about the next 2 years, or next 5 years, next 10 years. Will this go up tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold, just like the mobile adoption wave, right? Very well could be like that. Shows you how early we are. And there's still a lot of brands that's coming aboard. I mean, this one is not specifically for Bitcoin, but there is a rumor that Apple and their new conference is coming up, right? And this is within like a week. There's rumor that they're going to come into crypto, right? Maybe NFTs. Maybe they're going to offer NFTs. Maybe they're finally going to come out with digital wallet, or they're going to support crypto payments, right? Because it makes sense. Apple Pay is in a payment game, and their competitors like PayPal and Cash and Strike, they all support crypto and Bitcoin. So can Apple be adding them finally? Well, could happen, but it shows still we're not at the global adoption level yet, but we could be in the future, right? This is why we need to stay strong and continue forward. Now, lastly, as for Bitcoin, here's one from Mr. Velvet. He does some good fractal patterns, but basically you look at some of the previous corrections before. I've shown you guys similar graphs, but very, very similar. Very, very similar, right? And if we're following the same projections as before, well, then that means there's good things coming up for Bitcoin, which I do believe is still coming, despite the setback today, which, of course, just brought us down 1 day, okay? So, again, we went down. We lost the gains of 1 day. We went back to where we were a day ago, so not all is lost. So I don't want everyone to feel like, okay, the run just stopped. Now we are set back for 2 weeks. No, we just went back 1 day. Although I did notice that altcoins had a rough time. Altcoins did have a rough time when this happened, and I think that's because of fear, right? Because there's so many that's still fearful right now when they see something come down. Oh, do I have no sound? I have sound, right? Can you guys not hear me? My audio still says I have sound. What are these guys talking about with sound? Everyone's saying it's good sound. Okay. I don't know who says I don't have sound, but I mean, I'm looking at my software. I register. So anyways, I did notice altcoins having a little bit more weakness today. I think it's just because there's still a lot of fear. And when people are seeing something like this happen, they're like, oh, no, I better sell off all my alts, right? I mean, unfortunately, I think that's what's going on. But I do believe we're still in this uptrend. I know there's still a lot of fear out there, but I'm staying strong. I'm not going anywhere, and I don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere either. Bitcoin will come out of this stronger, okay? I do believe that. Now, as for altcoins, well, there's a couple things, big things, that's important. Number one is Ethereum Merge. This is coming, but first to their testnet. The testnet merge will be a big thing, big deal. This will make sure that the Beacon testnet chain and the testnet regular chain can merge. And if this is successful, then they will be ready to merge the real chain, right? That is coming up. So that's very important. Also, Cardano. A lot of people like Cardano. Someone in the chat says I don't talk enough about Cardano, which is BS because I talk about Cardano all the time. But their development activity surges to all-time high, according to the analytic firm, right? They are still continuing to execute, continuing to build, right? Recently, new bridge with Ethereum and bridging over USDC, but they're still working on side chains, working on scaling, still trying to figure out how to best utilize smart contracts. They have their own algorithmic stablecoin, DJET that's coming up, though highly collateralized. They have their payment system. They still have their ID system, working with Africa. There's a lot of stuff going on, right? So Cardano is definitely still advancing themselves, and that's why a lot of people still believe in Cardano. So good things about Cardano. What's not good is Solana. Solana went down once again. And I've been very tolerant of Solana. Obviously, in 2021, they had one of the best years ever, and I made a lot of money with Solana. But since, I don't know, within the last 6 months, they had so many outages. A lot dealing with bots and spam attacks, so they decided that they're going to come out with fees to kind of stop it. Just recently, it turned out the clock on the network was wrong, so they had to restart the network to fix that. And today, the network went down again because they had to restart because there was a fork that happened. Basically, two nodes generated different results with the same block. So basically, a fork was going to happen, and then they had to, again, stop it and restart the network. And this is ongoing and increasing in intervals right now. It's happening more and more. So I don't know what's going on with Solana. I really hope that they can fix this. I've been saying this for a while now, but they just keep having issues, right? And Solana people, they would make fun of, like, say, Cardano and say, well, look at Cardano, they're not done and they can't scale and this and that. But you can't have a highly scalable chain but have it go down like 6 times in 6 months, right? It doesn't work like that. Bitcoin has never gone down in 12 years, right? So Solana needs to fix this issue, but it happens all the time now. And I know when this happened, people were asking about it. Hey, I want to send my Solana to exchange and sell it. You couldn't even do that because the network was down, right? So I guess that was a good thing. Otherwise, Solana probably would have sold off even more. But one of the reasons why it's down 12% at this point in time, and they better watch out. If they keep sliding, they're going to drop out of top 10. They'll just go flip them again, right? So Solana definitely has its work cut out for it. The team has to get on top of this and fix this. Otherwise, people are just going to lose faith in the network, right? So there's that. And then lastly, I saw this. Not the biggest news, but there's a former OpenSea executive charged with NFT Insider Trading, something that you never hear about, NFT Insider Trading, because this person knew what NFTs was going to drop ahead of time. He used confidential information to pocket 19 ETH, which on the grand scheme of things is not a whole lot, and he's now facing up to 40 years in jail. 40 years for pocketing 19 ETH, okay? Shows you. Crime does not pay. Crime does not pay. That is just, that's horrendous. And then lastly, I did mention at the beginning of the stream, one big event that's coming up that may be causing some whales to play some games right now, and that's Consensus. Consensus is coming up in about 7 days. I was going to attend this, but I'm not anymore because I was waiting for tickets for my team. I wanted them to go with me. Consensus, they were just all over the place, being non-responsive. I'm like, whatever. I don't need to go. But I know there's a lot of hype over this outside of Bitcoin 2022, Consensus 2022. Arguably could be bigger, although the attendance I think is a little bit smaller. But I was looking at it, whenever we have this phenomenon, whenever we have these big crypto conferences, days before or weeks before, Bitcoin tends to come down because it seems like the whales or Wall Street or whatever wants to like downplay Bitcoin or crypto or something like that. I don't know. I was looking at last year, consensus 2021, and weeks before was when Bitcoin fell from 64,000 to 28,000, right? So imagine the sentiment happening with consensus 2021 after Bitcoin just fell down 50% within a matter of a week before the event started, right? So can we see some of that happen this week because of this? I don't know. Maybe, just speculating, but it happened during Bitcoin 2022 also, which I did attend, and right beforehand, Bitcoin also dipped, right? So it's just like, sometimes it happens. I don't know if it's a coincidence or I don't really think it's a coincidence. But anyways, just want to throw that out there. All right, let's do some Q&A. Jose, stop shouting that, man. Stop trying to spread more FUD on top of what's already happening with Terra and Terra Labs and Do Kwon. It's not a good situation at all. There's still a lot of speculation of tax evasion and all this stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, but don't spread more FUD about it. Show us the Lego set. That's the new BMW bike set. But I got a few more. I got the... I got that NASA set, the huge space shuttle set too. Rocky Bobby, I feel Algo is moving slowly but making good moves. Do you think their TVL could grow? Sure, TVL could grow. It's just you need time. You need time for projects to come aboard. DEXs and lending companies and liquidity pools. All that good stuff. You need them to come aboard. And, what a lot of chains are doing is creating a fund to attract them, right? And I think Algorand also does have a fund, but maybe not as big as some of the other players. But, yeah, it'll grow. I think Algorand's in a good position, still smaller than the other projects. But, yeah, I think so. What's your thoughts on Perpetual Protocol? I never heard of them. PREP. Very small project. Oh, today, by the way, is DCA. People keep yelling at it. Yelling it out, I mean. Is an on-chain perpetual futures DEX with deep liquidity. All right, when it says perpetual futures, I'm just going to exit there because that usually means leverage, and I don't encourage anyone to play with leverage, even though there are a lot of channels that now... well, I guess not just now, but has always encouraged people to play with leverage, and I just see that being a very, very bad thing. But anyways, let's see if I could bring up my portfolio here. All right, so this is my DCA portfolio since last June. I think it's pretty obvious, okay? For the last few weeks, I've been DCing into a lot of alts. Because, I've just been in the habit of DCing into alts. But one thing that I've, stopped doing that I should have continued doing is DCA more into Bitcoin as well. So this week, no surprise, I'm going to be DCing into Bitcoin. I actually started Bitcoin. I started this Bitcoin being 50% of the portfolio, but over time, the alts have overtaken it, right? And now it's not at 50%, but right now, Bitcoin is also providing, pretty good stability compared to a lot of the alts have been selling off tremendously, right? So this week, I am going to be just adding good old Bitcoin, no surprise. $100 every 2838 divided by 100. wait, 100 divided by 29,838. So 335. All right. There you go. So this week, just adding to Bitcoin, right? And those of you guys that are not familiar, I built this, started end of June, started with $5,000, then started adding $100 every single week. Unfortunately, it's down now due to our last 9 weeks, but it's okay. This will go through it. Sometimes you just go through periods like this where it's really harsh, but and we'll keep doing it every single week, $100 every single week, right? Just to make it more realistic, because a lot of you guys that are DCAing, you know, maybe you can't do $100 a week, but maybe you could do $50 a week or $10 a week or maybe whatever every paycheck, right? The whole point of DCA is you set it on a schedule and you keep going no matter what. And when things are down and you DCA, well, it brings the cost average down. So that actually helps you in the long run. But short term, might not be so pleasing. But you know what? I'm going to continue doing this. I'll show you guys the power DCA over the long haul. All right, so just Bitcoin this week. Just Bitcoin. Let's see. Just buy AMC and GMP. I guess that could work. Not for me, Justin, but it could work for some. I don't even know if they're a thing. Do people still, ape into them? I don't even know. I thought that was like the past. Crypto Hulk just lost his channel. They're creating legislation for crypto content creators. I don't even know who Crypto Hulk is, but I'm sorry to hear that. But I still do hear a lot of channels losing, their channel and getting it back right away, mostly because YouTube still depends on bots to determine which channel's legit or not. There's so many bad channels from spammers that are trying to fake people into believing it's a real stream, and they want people to send in, Bitcoin and doubling it, right? So YouTube just seems to not really, do a good job at that. What's your thoughts on Partizia blockchain? They're doing a private KYC right now. Mainnet released yesterday. I don't know if doing a private KYC sale is good. I don't know why. I don't know. You bring that up like it's a good thing, but I don't think that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds familiar, though. It sounds like I've seen this before. 89 validators, not a whole lot. 4 shards, so they're a sharding chain. Privacy preserving. L1, lightning fast. I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. But anyways, I don't know enough about it. Could be promising. Not a whole lot of validators right now. Not a whole lot of information. And yeah, right now, if they're trying to do any kind of privacy or any sale, probably they're not gonna get the attendance they probably want, or the investors or an investment that they want. Let's just put it that way. Buy some Luna Classic. No. Jeff Hammer, thank you. DCA into leverage? No. DK Grimm says 50 twice a week. Sometimes do it twice a week. Well, it's good. Whatever works for you. I mean, the whole point of DCA is you set and forget it. So you're taking emotion out of it. I know that's really hard to do when it deals with your money. Right? It's hard to do, just kind of set and forget it, right? But, you never should invest more than what you can afford to lose, first of all. And you're doing this based on long term. So anytime you DCA, it doesn't mean you just go all in and put all your money in. No, you put a small amount that you could afford, right? And you just set it and you continue on, right? That has worked for me in the past, has worked for many, many people that have shared their story with me. And I know it works. But there will be times where it just seems like it's silly, like it's never going to go anywhere. It'll never come up. You'll never make money, right? But then when things turn around, and they turn around really quickly, that's how you benefit. Johnny, I take one day of not watching the market. It's okay, Johnny. You don't have to watch it every day. It's not, sometimes things happen, all right? Sometimes things happen. What's going on with El Salvador? I mean, from what I hear, they're still doing fine. There's more people in El Salvador that has a digital wallet than a bank account. So I think that's a success. Damon says, George, the Tron algo stablecoin gained TVL like crazy. Have you noticed? Yes. Yes, I have. And I'm staying far, far, far away from it. First of all, I don't trust algorithmic stablecoins anymore due to obvious reasons. And second of all, I certainly don't trust Justin Sun or Tron. I never have. Okay. In 2017, 2018, I had a good run, but the things that Justin have done in the past, if you don't know about him, go research some very, very shady things. And you know what? I don't trust anything that he does with Tron, including their new algorithmic stablecoin, which I still believe that he may have had something to do with that bank run. Days before the UST collapse, he even tweeted out saying, I bought $2 billion worth of UST. Do Kwon asked him, what for? He's like, I have a surprise. 2 days before the crash. So did he contribute to it or start it? He denies it, but man, who knows? Who knows at this point? What happened with Solana? I already answered it. Basically, something happened where they were about to fork. Two nodes came up with different results for same block, and then when that happens, usually a fork happens. So, not good. Not good. They need to figure it out. I mean, it's that simple. They need to figure it out. They have figured out how to do a very, very, very fast chain, but they can't figure out how to stop all these outages, all these bugs, all these spam attacks. Somehow it just keeps coming up and up and up. So. Have I seen any new token projects I like recently? No. I get pitched all the time, but this day and age right now, it's really hard to say who's going to come out on top, right? I know a lot of projects already, so I'm just going to stick with them. And, I think a lot of them will continue to execute and continue to do well. And especially when the market comes up, they're going to do even better. Is there a good rule of thumb, a good time? Wait. Is there a good time of thumb percentage to follow for total annual DCA? John, are you drunk, man? No, and there's no good rule of thumb. You could DCA at whatever you want, however you want. There's no set percentage. So I would say if you can follow the 50-25-25 rule and keep good amount of cash, 25, 30, 35% cash, then you're good. You're good. Continue to DCA away and just follow the same strategy, right? But make sure you have that cash on the side so you can continue to DCA long haul, not just periodically. Now, there are some people that will DCA based on percentage drops, right? So if Bitcoin drops 10% or Bitcoin drops 15%, then they buy in. You could do it based on percentage drops as well. Okay, so that's another strategy. But, you know, it's really up to you. How come I didn't receive the same amount of Terra 2 tokens as I had with Terra Classic? Because that was never the plan. You were never going to get the same amount. So if you read through a proposal, you go get a small fraction amount based on what you held. But keep in mind, you only receive, I think, 30%. 70% is locked, and you'll start getting more after 6 months. So after 6 months to 2 years, you'll start getting more every single month. But yeah, whether or not they're worth anything, I don't know. Someone said KuCoin and KCC is growing fast. KuCoin is a fantastic exchange, and their coin is holding relatively well. So you could see that they're at number 39 on the list. So they have done pretty well versus some of the others within the top 100. So now they're up. What is 50, 25, 25? 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps, 25% in small caps. So I would say that's a good makeup. So basically 75% of your portfolio is at least in Bitcoin and the bigger projects. So when things go down, you're not going to get decimated. A lot of people tend to go very, very heavy with mid and small and micro caps. So when we do have correctional times, they get absolutely murdered, right? But that's why I've always said don't skip out on Bitcoin. You want that stability and strength in your portfolio. What about commodity coins, crypto-backed corn, soybeans, meats? Yeah, no. If you want commodity, go buy stocks or futures or ETFs based on them, not crypto. I don't trust any of these crypto projects that supposedly is backed by something or backed by gold. Yeah, no. If you just want commodity, just go play stocks. Go buy ETFs based on commodities, or buy futures based on commodities. But crypto-backed ones, no. AMP, Flexa, Chipotle. Chipotle. I don't know. If you're saying because AMP is now, or Flexa is now supported at Chipotle, if that's why you're asking, okay. But I don't think it's going to help them, honestly. Right now, I don't see anyone utilizing crypto for burritos or burrito bowls, honestly. Do you think BTC hit 25K because Terra sold their BTC to keep? Yes, I do believe that that is what happened. Even though they were supposed to sell OTC market, but they were pretty desperate. They sent a whole bunch to Gemini and a whole bunch to Binance. And if there was no buyers in OTC market, guess where it's going to be sold at? On the open market. So spot market, I mean. So I think that when they panic sold at 3.5 billion, even though it was supposed to be an OTC, a lot of it was sold on the spot market, which is what brought Bitcoin down, that huge spike down to 25K. I believe that. Binance knows what happened, at least on Binance's side, but they said that's not for them to share. Terra is supposed to share that, and they have been very uncommunicative. Tiberius, I think that's exactly right. Sol's looking sus lately. Yeah, I mean, when things are good, people don't question these kind of things. But when things are bad, these questions come up. So, I mean, I know they had issues, right? A lot of network outages, but it seems to be escalating these days. So, I don't know what else to say about it. It's making me, my faith in them is starting to drop, right? But, I wouldn't give up on them just yet. It's still early, so hopefully they can figure it out. But if this continues forward, it will definitely hurt them tremendously. A lot of people jumped off the ship because of all these outages already. Which one, Chipotle or Arby's? I like both. I like both. Thoughts on 401k distribution into crypto? Yeah, a lot of people have done so. A lot of people have done so because, hey, if you're going to be in crypto for a long time, right, why not do it until you have to retire? You know, you don't have to cash out until you retire, right? So a lot of people have done so, and that is why companies like ITrustCapital is around, because they help you with that. So, yeah. So I would say check them out if you're thinking about it. They have excellent service, and they have a ton of crypto that you could choose from, not just Bitcoin. But, yeah. KuCoin token going to be the next BNB. You know, I've said that before. In 2017, it looked like that. Certain times in 2021, it looked like that. But they are still very far off from Binance, even though their token has done really well. And I do think they're going to continue to grow. But, I mean, you know, Binance and KuCoin is not like anywhere close. It's a vast distance. Imagine if USDT crashes zero. I'd rather not. I'd rather not imagine that, because that would be, yeah, I'm not going to even imagine that. All right, guys, that is it. You know, so unfortunately, market came down a little bit, reversed a little bit, but it looks like Bitcoin wants to crawl back above 30,000 and could be doing so pretty soon. And put it into context, we're still higher than the point that we were yesterday, okay? So we just lost out on the gains from this morning. Unfortunately, I do think Jamie Dimon threw some gasoline on the fearful fire that already exists. So that's exactly what happened, but you don't want to give up on Bitcoin. It's going to recover. It's still very early, and there are many, many, many big things coming. So stay strong, my friends. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Bye-bye.